Hello, my beautiful people. Today we meet again on a video on this my YouTube channel. Thank you for showing up. All right, today I'm gonna shock you. I have a whole bunch of facts that will definitely put your shoes off, definitely destroy your reality. So be prepared. Today we are talking about real estate in Nigeria compared with real estate in Germany and in general for lifetime. Let's get started. All right. We Germans and you Nigerians, we have much more than you think in common. Our generation at least has, until we are turning 40, really that common dream of we once in our lifetime own the house that we want to call our home, that we live in. So having property is a common generation goal. But the approaches, very, very different, my dears, very, very different. Let me look at the side of the Nigerians. The Nigerians, what kind of thing is happening here? Nigerians hope to have enough money in cash to buy the property that they wish for. So they basically buy in cash. But why is that? Well, you do have a serious problem with the banking system here. Only 47% of all Nigerians have actually a bank account, not talking of financing or possibilities and options in this country. If you do try for a financing mortgage of a property, you face several difficulties. One is that the time to pay it back is really, really short. Some agents give you 2 years up to 5 years, which is extremely short for a property. Commercial banks would give you 5 to 20 years, but at an interest rate of 18 or 20%, that is really crazy a lot. Then you do have also, as far as I understood and researched, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, which is a government backup system. They require you to pay a rate at least 2.5% of your monthly income. And they give you also 30 years of paying back, which is super. And also the interest rate of 6% is so low compared to the other options. But of course, loan application is very slow and bureaucratic. So I do not have any experience with that. If you have, by the way, if you have any experience with that model here in Nigeria, I would be so interested if that is really working for some greater part of Nigerians who want to finance property. Anyway, so that is all I could find out. In general, I would say that is a rather poor outcome, and that's why I understood all the people that I have known here in Nigeria and that are in possession of the house they're living in have bought it cash at some point, at some lucky situation that they were in their lifetime. At the German side, we have a completely different option. Basically, when we are having our Holy Communion at the age of 14 or 13, this is when we actually open a house saving plan. The house saving plan now is saved for 7 or more years in order to give you actually the installment of 20% for a property. And then furthermore, it offers you up to 30 years payback on an interest rate of 2 to 6%. 6% is at the moment. That was not the average for the last 15 years. It really increased in the past years a lot. When I, for example, bought my property in Austria, I had an interest rate of below 2% even. So that was so good. So more or less, once we buy the house that we want or the apartment that we want, our monthly payback rates equal the monthly rent that we would pay for that property. And to make it even worse, also the euro is having an inflation that is remarkable, just as any other currency that you find in that world. So after 10 years, actually, the payback rate, the monthly one, is below, far below an interest in a renting rate that you would pay in a month. So it's really a good deal for most of us to buy the house that we finally want to live in and own and call our home forever and ever until we die. Well, I've personally sold, of course, the house because we are not going to die in Germany. So this is my background for this, but of course, there are more rooted people than myself. And if you decide that this is one of the very, very possible ways that many people do, nevertheless, and that is a bit surprising, did you know that only 18% of Germans own the property that they live in? You find other European examples where it's the opposite. 80% own the property they live in. But in Germany, this rate is so low, despite the possibilities of finance. And I don't know exactly why. It's a mentality thing, I guess. And I'm also thinking that Nigerians are more into owning the homes that they are living in. All right, this is the general overview of the real estate possibilities in those two countries in comparison. But why did I come up with that topic? It's not a usual topic, right? I mean, I'm just a family blogger. So why did I come up with that topic? Well, I can tell you, this house here we are renting out, the landlord wanted to sell it. Actually, we moved in, and a month later, after we moved in, he said he wants to sell it. He said now for 270 million Naira. And I was like, that's a lot. And I will definitely not buy. And I think he sold it now for around 200 or 240 million Naira. I'm not sure, because there were two offers, one with the furniture and application and one without. So I don't know what the buyer finally decided for. So I assume now maybe it was sold for 240 million Naira. I hope that for the landlord, because he has really struggled. I guess he wanted to sell this property for a year. He renovated when we moved in. He painted inside out. He made some small repairments. Afterwards, he said he doesn't have money anymore for anything. So I'm not so happy with that, but it's okay. What can you do? So, and I was thinking something, okay, is that really the truth? Is that really the truth? Like, let's say this guy bought it for like 10 years ago and had a remarkable income out of the rent that he asked for. I mean, we paid 17 million Naira here for this year. So let's say he really made a remarkable amount, deducting the reparations that he had to do, maintenance. Maybe he did 350 million Naira out of that sale, right? Like altogether, including the benefits of the past years. But I was thinking, is that really a good deal? Because neighbors around us told us that comparable property was sold 10 years ago for 70 million Naira. So if you say so, this is a factor by 5, right? Like you buy it 10 years ago for 70 million Naira and you now sell it for 350 million Naira, including, of course, the benefits that you had for rent income. And that sounds like a good deal, right? But is that the truth? And the shocking truth, I can tell you, it's not the truth. The truth is actually not the real estate market is gaining in so much value, but your Naira and also Euro and also US dollar, but especially the Naira with an inflation rate close to 30% is losing in value so quickly that it appears that the property real estate market is gaining so much. So I was thinking, okay, let me ask my clever brain, my AI tool. Use AI, by the way. Use AI. You generation, you should not miss out AI usage. So anyway, it's the gift for our generation. You should always use it instead of Google. So I was asking myself, okay, if you have bought this property now for 70 million Naira 10 years ago, what if you had chosen another asset than real estate? There are other assets. If you compare for Naira, you can do the hot US dollars, right? The currency US dollars is definitely more stable than the Naira. So let's ask AI for, if I had bought for 70 million Naira US dollars 10 years ago, what could I sell this US dollars now in Naira for? And the shocking part is 523 million Naira. 523 million Naira. So that is even more than those 350 million Naira that we assumed here in the profit of the selling. And then I was thinking, okay, but also the US dollar is actually going down a lot. It doesn't have an inflation of 30%, it's true, but also their value went down the past 10 years a lot. So let me do a rather traditional asset, and the most traditional asset that you actually have on our planet is gold. Every Nigerian told me that gold is the best, right? Check out my birthday surprise video on gold temptation. Well, anyway, gold is always a very traditional asset that saves value that you have in decades and years. So I asked AI, those 70 million Naira, if you had bought gold 10 years ago, for what price could you sell this gold today? You won't believe it. Ta-da-da-da-da-da! 1.76 billion Naira. Can you believe that? Can you believe that number? That's crazy. I mean, for me, it's always so nice. Naira is always in millions and billions. I don't have a relationship with all these numbers, with all these zeros, but it sounds huge. And billion is definitely more than million, right? So that is a big sum. And that would be a good deal if you had bought gold 10 years ago for that price instead of that house. And something that will definitely destroy all your reality. It destroyed mine. My guys, I cannot tell you how shocked I was. All right. 10 years ago, nobody was really ready. I wasn't ready for Bitcoin. But if you had bought Bitcoin for 70 million Naira 10 years ago, guys, that is shocking. Today, you could sell that very same Bitcoin for 261 billion Naira. You just added a couple of millions, billions, zeros. Wow. That's a miracle, right? And I ask you, what is less stress? Having that asset of gold, US dollars, or Bitcoin, or having a house that you have to maintain, that you have to employ an agent, that you have to fear your department that comes at night. Check out the video now. Anyway, I swear to you, so much less headache. I would definitely go for one of those three assets. Or if you just had put it to normal stock markets, like just invested into stocks, I guess you would have also had a nice return on that. That is just so mind blowing, guys. Like what AI did in this thought to me, like it just really turned everything upside down. I was discussing that with my husband. Shame, eh? It seems like owning a house is something like a religious point, and I understand the emotions for it. If you are actually living in your own property, it does make a difference, of course. And I'm not saying you should have, I'm just telling you the facts, okay? The emotions towards living in your own home, that you call your home, that you also have a certificate of ownership, yeah? Nigerians actually, on average, only have 3% have actually a certificate of ownership of their property. So it's an important point, my dears. Anyway, I understand that emotion very well, but honestly, these numbers are mind-blowing, and I know what I would invest, like forever and ever. So, guys, seriously, like these facts are shocking, right? And you know what? I would not tell you bullshit. Myself, I was so lucky with Bitcoin because I was not 2015 there, but I started investing 2017, 2 years later, right? And I was always lucky. I never was disappointed by Bitcoin. Um, and I'm planning now to make a really exclusive project for you guys because I know you had a lot of billionaires because of Bitcoin here in Nigeria. And then the Federal National Bank said, okay, we're going to freeze all the accounts and make it extremely difficult for Nigerians to actually purchase Bitcoin. But there are ways. And I will post a lot of videos now to show you how that is possible, because you all deserve a better currency than US dollar, than Naira, than Euro. You deserve your hard work that you are getting paid in Naira to save with a greater value than the Naira currency actually offers you. So stay tuned for the next videos. I want to know all your emotions. Prove me wrong on the facts, please. I challenge you. Prove me wrong on the facts that I've just stated in that video. Put it to my comments. I'm so interested. It's going to be an exhausting but very, 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 very good discussion, my guys. Let's discuss that topic. It's so important. We are working so hard every day. And what are we getting really after 10 years for it? You tell me in the comments. If you like that video, share it with everybody. Share it, like it. And of course, if you like my channel, subscribe. And I thank you so much for the support. Golden Temptation got me so many views, so many comments, and I love that. Thank you so much, my followers. I love you so much, and see you in the next videos. Bye-bye.